So our next round is Pick of the Polls. John, Rachel and Josh, what do you like the look of?
The
wedding one.
I don't like weddings because there's absolutely no chance of me ever being involved in one.
There is, they could change that law.
I think we might go for the sexy lady in the specs.
OK. We asked tonight's jury audience, would you rather be beautiful or brainy? What do you think they said?
I went on a date recently and 2 different people came up to us and said that she was far too attractive to me. Wow. I'm sure you've had it as well, Alex.
Total strangers came up to you?
One was a drunk Australian man who'd fallen out with his friends and he thought, well, I'll go and slag off this guy who's with a hot girl then. And then the second one was a drugs dealer in Camden who stopped a mobile phone call to point across the street and go, you shouldn't be with her, mate. And I didn't know whether that was the greatest compliment or the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
I go for ugly, stupid women. Really ugly, really stupid. So then people come up to me and they go, you're too good for her, mate. You shouldn't be with her. They go, ah, there she goes. She's combing her hair with a shoe.
You don't have to look any further than our guests to see beauty and brains. Obviously, we've got Rachel. We've got, on the other end of the spectrum, we've got you. Mille pois.
Is that a compliment?
Yes, it is a compliment. Alex, what first attracted you to Jordan? What 2 things?
Au contraire.
Go on, so what do you find attractive?
Something. It's the Factor X, the enigma, the... I don't know, it's...
They're called tits.
I like...
The whole package! So, what do you think our audience going for? Do you think they'd rather be beautiful, or do you think they'd rather be brainy? What are you going to go for?
If you're beautiful but thick, then you never have the intelligence to question why people are hanging around with you. I mean, brains are what make you go, oh, I wonder if this is just a fickle relationship. If you're beautiful but thick, you go, everyone likes me. I would say, as a result of that, they'd say beautiful.
Well, you're team captain. This is your first go, so I'm just bearing it.
It's not nice to hear that in a woman's voice. This is your first go, isn't it? You're having fun. It's lasted long, isn't it?
I think they'll go brainy.
You think beautiful?
Yep.
I think beautiful, so you're outvoted.
You think the audience would rather be beautiful? What do you think, Sean?
Brains.
All right, let's have a look and see what the audience would rather be, beautiful or brainy.
Yeah, we're right.
Yeah, the answer is 65% of our studio audience would rather be brainy. I'm not sure. If people really did prefer brains, then Stephen Hawking would have sold a few more copies of his topless calendar. Sean, David, Tim, your turn first.
Well, I think we've got Tim here. We'll go for the gentleman who looks like he does a bit of rap.
OK, you've chosen the rapper. Here is a clip to illustrate your question.
Boys and girls, the Lord Jesus Christ is the one who gives us new life, and he's doing a new thing for us.
You know he's doing it. God is doing a new thing. God is doing a new thing. You know he's doing it. He's doing it. He's doing a new thing. You know he's doing it. Yo, who's doing it? God is doing a new thing in our lives. So we're doing a new thing through Jesus Christ. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's me.
You know they're doing a no thing. Here is your related question. OK, most people would rather be a rap star than Prime Minister. Do you think that's true or false?
True.
Absolutely true. Why
You think it's true? You want to be a rap star?
Why wouldn't you?
You might get shot, Tim.
I'm not a rap star, and I
die
got
young.
shot, so it happens.
You got capped, didn't you, brother?
Yeah.
That's pretty whack, if you ask me. I mean...
That's how I felt about it.
So
Does
when
it
you
hurt?
were...
No.
Doesn't hurt. Where'd you get it?
Just in the arm.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tim Westwood, you would want to be a rap superstar, right?
All day.
All day?
Yeah, well, all the time, yes.
I like the
Yeah.
idea that a rapper would stop at night. Yeah. I would bang another hoe, but early start in the morning. This will surprise people, but I'm not a fan of rap. Yeah, I think they've basically taken music and just stopped doing the singing bit. We'll keep the backing, but we'll just talk.
I interviewed Cliff Richard and he said much the same thing.
Yeah.
You are at one on that.
That's another thing you've got in common with him.
People forget that Cliff Richard was pretty cool for a while.
David O'Doherty, would you rather be Prime Minister or rap superstar?
Well, I would make a terrible rap star. I am the least hip-hop person that I know.
Make a bloody good umpire, though.
Ireland beat England in cricket recently, and no one knows how to play it. You'd get the man hit it into the stand, and half the people in the pub I was watching it with were like, "Oh, well, that's rude." Is that good? Yes! Take that, 800 years.
So what do you think, Prime Minister or
I think
rap
people
star?
would much rather be a rap star. If you're a rap star, you can put hose on expenses, whereas you can't. You're Prime Minister, can you? Yeah.
It's the same for rap stars and gardeners.
OK, so you're all going rap star?
Yes, I think
OK,
so,
what
yeah.
about over here?
I would say no one wants to be Prime Minister, do they? So
Not even the Prime Minister wants to be Prime Minister at the moment. You know, wouldn't imagine.
It's a lot of responsibility either way. Is there an option for neither?
There is, and you are living it.
I think we're going rap star, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I can tell you that it is false. Only 34% of people would rather be a rapper than Prime Minister. I'd mix the two and become MP Diddy. Sean, Mickey, Jedward. Pick a question.
Let's go for the man in the mask.
OK, you've chosen the mugger. Here is a
Is he
clip.
a mugger?
Yes, he
That's
is.
a bit judgmental.
Here's a clip to illustrate the question.
I've developed a practical, easy-to-learn self-defense program for seniors. In this segment, we want to teach you how to defend yourself against a rear low-section bear hug attack. Low section means that the attacker is grabbing you about the elbows. It is not possible to throw the arms off. In this case, you would step to your left, reaching back with your right hand through testicles and squeezing. Or you could step to your right, reaching back with your left hand, grabbing testicles and squeezing. In this case here, the first thing that's very good to do is to take your forehead and bang as hard as you can on the person's nose. A second thing that's a real possibility is step to the side. Take your hand, grab testicles, and squeeze.
Jackie Chan would never do that, okay? He'd totally just go psh, 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 wah, wah, take him down.
Yeah, but they wouldn't do. Can I just point something out to you? They wouldn't make an instructive self-defense video for Jackie Chan. This is for people who aren't Jackie Chan. The idea is helping old people who get attacked. You know when you go out and you attack old people?
OK, now here's your related question. If attacked, most people would leave a friend to fend for themselves. True or false?
Imagine you're being attacked, okay? The friend has to help, so he has to run off and get help.
Oh, what's that? What's that? Earwigs at the rhubarb.
It's all to do, I suppose, with a friend, isn't it? Because we've all got friends who are complete arseholes. You always keep one in your life, don't you? And you hope that one day they'll shape up and you go out with them and they're still an arsehole. And they get you in trouble. That one, I'd probably go, I'll see you in a couple of years' time.
It's worth remembering, if you don't have one of those friends, it's you.
If you or John was attacked, would you help out?
The thing is, they might think they might come after John thinking it's me and then kill John. And I'll be like, it was meant to be me.
Why would they care which one?
I would totally help out. I wouldn't run off and be like, I'd totally take down the person and they'd be gone. I'd be like, go away. And they'd go away. I'd call
This is like... Go
away!
John, if you were walking with a friend, imagine you had a friend, and well, because you live on your own. But if you were with a friend and you got attacked, what do you think?
Yeah, if I had a friend, I would
We're your
fight to the
friends.
death to keep hold of it. It'd probably be me doing the attacking. Never leave!
Okay, when the situation happens, okay, I'd know what I'm doing. Right now, I didn't know what I was doing, but I will know what I'm doing if it ever happens.
Yeah, if you get attacked.
totally.
Yeah, if it's like in an alleyway, someone jumps out with a knife, you would know.
Leave the area! Not welcome!
Would you defend someone, Charlie, if you were?
I might try. I might stick around and try and spark up a conversation with them, take their mind off it. But I'm not putting myself in physical harm for another human.
Haven't you just got married?
Yeah, well, it's a friend, not a wife. So is this based on? Is this a fact or an opinion? Is this is like what people are saying they're going to do, or is it what people will actually do?
It's what they're saying.
believe
they would do.
I think they would.
If
You
they're
would.
saying, yeah, it's
You
easy
would.
to say you're going to do it. Of course they're going to say they're going to stick.
Well, you
quickly-
didn't. You said no. I won't bother.
I think you all would do it. You're just being cynical. I think all of you
Yeah.
are
I intervened in a fight
gentlemen.
once.
You're gentlemen and you would. I would.
You think I would stay and defend a friend?
Yeah.
You, Lorraine, are a very poor judge of character.
Yeah.
I was once out with some friends on a night out and we got attacked. And I went and got us a taxi. While the fight was ensuing, I thought there's going to need to be transport when this when this finally settles down. And I was quite right. To
the hospital, please.
Imagine, Jimmy, you'd go and get changed into your jeans, wouldn't you? Just in case you get your clothes ruffled up. I am going to stick around and help you. I just need to change into my jeans.
Sean, I tell you, you say that. You're lucky I don't have my jeans on right now, or I'd come over there.
Oh, sure.
And I would.
Saw me out. You haven't got your bloody jeans on, have you?
Yeah, but otherwise,
Yeah.
they're new trousers. So.
You could rip your top like Superman.
Are you asking to see Lorraine's boobies? I didn't know if you were looking at me. Can you rip your top?
Lorraine's a lady and she wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's not nice, Kay. Lorraine's totally cool.
Well, they're also very bad judges of character.
You do say you use cool a lot.
I know, because
You do too much.
I know,
you
but
want to use cool about, I reckon, 30% less.
I don't say cool anymore.
if I was focused, really focused, if I got in the zone, I was totally
Try not to
focused.
say cool for about 10 minutes. See how you get on.
Okay.
Just a little challenge.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Genuinely didn't mean that.
You didn't.
OK, so let's get the answer. So, if attacked, most people would leave a friend to fend for themselves. Are you saying true or false?
False.
Yeah, people
Okay.
would be good.
True. True.
True, because everyone's aware.
Yeah, I think it's true.
I can tell you, the answer is false. Yeah, only 5% of people would leave their friend to fend for themselves. In situations like that, I just let my fist do the talking. Please let me go. I don't like it. OK, Sean Steen, what do you like the look of?
We like the look of the keyboard, Jimmy.
In a poll to find out who people would turn to for advice, Google, the internet search engine, came second. What came first? When something happens in your life, there's a crisis, who do you go to?
My mum.
And what does she say?
Google it.
I think it's got to be family, because I would definitely go to Mama and Papa Wan every single time for advice.
Mama and Papa?
Mama and Papa Wan.
Oh, that sounds adorable.
I think they are adorable.
Do you phone them up for just advice on like personal stuff, or is
Well,
it like
I
in
tend
life?
to talk to Mama Wan first, because I can't understand my dad, because he talks in very broken English still, which is...
A little bit racist, cock.
A little bit racist. But it's a little bit. But it's true, but honestly, to this day...
You never communicated with your dad?
We do. But my dad is one of these immigrants that came over to the country. Social immunity, I'm allowed to say this. He's one of these immigrants that came over, and when he came over, he couldn't speak English, and my mum taught him to speak English because they fell in love. And then over his life, he's lived here since he was 16. He's about 102 now. So he's been here most of his life. And so he must be able to talk good English. But he's really, as soon as he doesn't want to listen to a word we'll say, you know, Dad, how are you? We'll just go, oh, Or I'll
turn around to my dad and I'll say, you know, Dad, this has happened in my life, or, you know, this has happened, I really need some advice. And he'll go, who are you? This is the honest truth. He becomes really racist about himself and refuses to talk in English.
Sean Steen, what do you think kids are most scared of?
Well, in our house, it's Mr. Jangles, which is one of the characters I play.
Who is Mr. Jangles, Sean?
Mr. Jangles comes up the stairs! You better be in bed! Before Mr. Jangles gets up there!
That's everybody's scared, Sean. That's just like
We're all
getting a bit
scared
panicky.
now. I'm afraid that's the end of the show because we have to go to bed now.
I find it really funny when kids are scared of stuff, because my girls, they're not... I've got 2 daughters, and they're not scared of anything, but I've got a niece, and she's scared of everything. I took her to Cadbury World recently, and, like, they've got these big, like, cocoa beans walking around, so, like, dressed up cocoa beans, and the whole time she was like...
I'm not surprised.
Laughing. I was, like, proper laughing at her.
You were laughing at your niece. She was terrified on a day out.
I liked your face, Jimmy. Do the face again of her being terrified.
Oh, she was...
Was she in a Michael Jackson Thriller video? It's quite an extreme, terrified...
No, but that's how
Can we have it one more
terrified
time?
she was.
Could you do Mr. Bojangles, or whatever it was called, and then I would have terrified? It'd be great, a little playlet.
Mr. Bojangles!
Most people would rather pay for cosmetic surgery than join a gym. True or false? What do you think, Jamelia?
No way. No way. Like, no way.
Have you ever had anything done?
You can't do that, no.
Would you have anything done?
No, I mean...
For me?
Botox.
How much?
Botox do you have?
I haven't got any... Well, I've got Botox done on one side, but I only got one side done. I didn't have... I didn't have the money, but I don't think you really noticed, but I've had that side done, and then I left that side, but I didn't have money for both. But I'm getting the other side done next week. Can you tell which one... Can you tell the before and after?
You look like a Picasso painting of yourself.
I don't think you had Botox, I think you had a stroke.
Shouldn't really joke about strokes. If you have a stroke, you'd be laughing on the other side of your face. OK, I can tell you the answer is false. 79% of people would rather join a gym. Yeah. All the celebrities get plastic surgery these days. Colleen Rooney just had some work done on her arsehole. He's had a hair transplant. Sean, Bear and Chris, your turn first. What do you like the look of?
Well, we've got Bear Grylls on, so we'll go for the man trying to start a fire.
OK, here is your question. Most people believe they could survive alone for a week in the wilderness. True or false?
They probably believe it, but they probably wouldn't.
Yeah, but I would.
I've watched nearly all of your shows. I am genuinely a massive fan. I've watched nearly all your shows, and it seems like nothing can't be solved by drinking your own piss.
It's very overrated, drinking your own pee.
All right,
The worst one I had was I'd killed a snake in the desert and I skinned it, and I thought I'd pee inside the skin and keep it as like a water bottle around my neck. And then about a day later, after being kind of in the heat of the desert, and I drank it, and it was like mixed all the snake innards, and I thought this really is a bad cocktail.
Drinking your own urine is meant to be good for you. Nonsense. I put my back out.
My favourite episode of your show was when you literally just got out of your helicopter. But you got over it, you walked down the hill, you found some bear poo, and you got a bit of apple out of it. And you went, oh, yeah, apple. And you washed it with your water. And you ate it immediately. I thought, you've just got off the helicopter! How are you already home? Put it in your bag!
Chris, if you think that's bad, have a look at this.
In hot climates, if you try to walk in the heat of the day with no water, you may last no more than 4 hours. But if it's a choice between life and death, there's a survival trick I was shown by an old ranger. One thing you can do if you're stuck out here with no water source at all is actually drink the fluid from a fresh elephant dung. Pretty disgusting, but it could save your life. It's a real last resort. There can be harmful bacteria in that water. But if you have nothing else to drink, it could buy you extra time.
The worst bit was when that lump actually did drop off, and then that wasn't meant to happen.
That was the worst bit about drinking the dung water.
It was the Ranger who told me this, but I always think of the Ranger. I bet he's seen it now on TV and go, that idiot, you believe me?
It seems like an unnecessary step. I've actually written a survival book. And it's real. The unique feature about my survival book is it's edible. There it goes. Day 1, eat page 1. Eat page 2. Page 9, don't eat this, it's poisonous.
You never seem to make any puddings. That's what always bothers me. It's always, you know. Well, you know, I understand that you can, you know, eat a squirrel or whatever, or, you know, suck something's poo, but there's nothing similar to angel delight, is there?
What's the worst thing you've eaten to stay alive?
The worst is probably raw goat's testicles, or actually, no, big yak eyeballs was bad. No, actually, the camel intestinal fluids from a camel intestines, that was the worst.
I think the eyeball would be worse for me because he'd be looking at you.
Being difficult to get down. The amazing thing is, it doesn't really digest, so when it comes out the other end, if it's a, you know, it's...
What wouldn't you do then? Would you, like those guys that went down, the plane went down in the Andes and they had to eat each other, would you eat another human being to stay alive?
What a question, you know. I mean, you know, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean,
you definitely would.
Yes.
It's not a difficult question. I think most of us go, no, I wouldn't. I'd rather die. It's a difficult question if you're a maniac.
If I was with my kids and I died, I think I'd want my kids to eat me if it kept them alive.
OK, so what do you think? Most people think they could survive alone for a week in the wilderness, true or false?
Yeah, I think kind of people, are, you know, see it and they'd be excited to give it a go, so I think people would hope that they'd be able to survive.
OK, and what do you think?
I think yes.
I think most people would think that they could. I think true.
We think yes, true.
I can tell you the answer is true. 63% of people think they could survive for a week in the wilderness. If I was lost in the wilderness, I'd stay warm by shaking with fear, and I'd get water by drinking my own endless stream of tears. Easy. John, Nick, Peter, your turn first. What do you like the look of?
Silly not to the picture of me, I think. Bottom left-hand corner.
Oh, yeah, looking very manly.
OK, so we asked our studio audience, what's the best way to impress a woman? A feat of strength or a grand romantic gesture? What do you think they said?
Bit of both, innit?
Yeah.
Carry a woman up a mountain at sunset and then do her on it. Ladies.
Ah, the romance of being done on a mountain.
My friend was actually proposed to like that. They were on
Well, she was being done on a mountain.
I think he said, oh, Laura, I've got something to ask you. And she said, no, Dave, not here. And then he actually proposed. Yeah.
Why would you marry a man who, when he says something like that, you naturally assume he means doing it? Baffles me, the men that have got wives. Just...
How long have you been single there, John?
Well, 8 years. What's the relationship status of my team?
Single for about 8 years also. We're really killing it.
Good strong wrist.
Yeah.
I'm in a relationship, practically married for 8 years. Even stronger wrist.
How did you woo your other half? Was it a romantic gesture or was it...
Woo?
Well, you know the way you woo a woman.
Like in the 30s.
You might do a feat of strength. You might say... You might do something that's, like, impressive to women. Involving...
Right.
Look, I'll look. You want a pickled onion? Give those to Sean.
Give them to me.
There you go. You can, you know. But that's the traditional way to impress a woman. Is that it's a feat of strength. It's like a. Just open it. It's just been opened, Sean.
Yeah, it's a trick, isn't it? No, it hasn't. I can't open it.
Give them to Daniel. He'll do it.
It's glued up. You've glued it up.
I haven't.
You have.
Why would I do that? It's easy. Just twist it. You just twist. Just twist the top. So a feat of strength or a romantic gesture, what would woo you?
It's got to be a romantic gesture, hasn't it?
So what kind of romantic gesture?
I'd say something like this.
What about something like this? Sort of like mating, kind of. Is that sexy?
My dad's lost the romance from my mum over the years, and when she was pregnant, I was 3 years old when my mum was diagnosed with my sister, and when she was 7 months pregnant, my dad's a lovely guy, but he just snapped him. She's like, you don't do anything around the house anymore. I'm doing everything. I do the hoovering, doing the cooking, doing it. I've got this one to take care of. Can you just help me? Some things I can't do, like I can no longer do the dishes. I physically can no longer do the dishes. Then the next day when my mum went to work, my dad spent the day welding a semicircle into the sink.
So I need an answer on this. John, what do you think?
People will say romance, won't they?
I reckon.
I think romance.
What would you go with?
It's got to be romance.
Yeah, romance.
OK, I can tell you, we asked our studio audience what was the best way to impress a woman, and they said the best way was a romantic gesture. My ex-girlfriend was quite a big girl, so often I'd combine a feat of strength with a romantic gesture by letting her go on top. OK, Sean Steen, what do you like the look of?
Keyboard. We like the look of the keyboard, Jimmy.
You like the look of the keyboard?
Consensus amongst me and the girls.
In a poll to find out who people would turn to for advice, Google, the internet search engine, came second. What came first?
Don't know, it's not written there. I've never really had any great advice. I mean, a couple of good bits of advice from my dad. He said, never drink in a pub with a flat roof. Good advice. You think about it, they're usually on the edges of council estates.
No offence, Amy.
You're more likely to get punched in a pub with a flat roof, aren't you? There's a higher chance of you getting hit.
There's a pretty good chance of me being hit in any given pub.
I think if you walk in like that saying, my father warned me against this, but I shall have a Cinzano and lemonade and give you a chance.
Who do you go to for advice? When something bad happens, when something happens in your life, there's a crisis, who do you go to?
My mum.
And what does she say?
Google it.
I think it's got to be family, because I would definitely go to Mama and Papa Wan every single time for advice.
Mama and Papa?
Mama and Papa Wan.
Oh, that sounds adorable.
They are adorable.
Do you phone them up for just advice on like, personal stuff, or is it
Well,
like...
I tend to talk to Mama Wan first, because I can't understand my dad, because he talks in very broken English still, which is...
A little bit racist, cock.
A little bit racist. But it's a little bit. But it's true, but honestly, to this day...
You never communicated with your dad?
We do. My dad is one of these immigrants that came over to the country. Social immunity, I'm allowed to say this. He's one of these immigrants that came over, and when he came over, he couldn't speak English, and my mum taught him to speak English because they fell in love. And then over his life, he's lived here since he was 16. He's about 102 now. So he's been here most of his life. And so he must be able to talk good English. But he's really, as soon as he doesn't want to listen to a word we're saying, we'll say, you know, Dad, how are you? He'll just go, oh, Or I'll turn around to my dad and I'll say, you know, Dad, this has happened in my life, or, you know, this has happened, I really need some advice. And he'll go, who are you? This is the honest truth. He becomes really racist about himself and refuses to talk in English.
And you've got comedians watching you on going, you know we can't possibly join in on any of this. I've got one. Does he sometimes say this?
He's amazing. I love my dad.
So you would go to your parents for advice?
I always go to my parents for advice.
I'm going to give it to you, because the answer is the person Brits turn to most for advice is a parent. Well done. Well got it. So people are more likely to go to a parent for advice than ask Google. I'm not sure how comfortable I'd be with shouting, Mum, Mum, have you got any topless shots of Megan Fox? Oh, Sean, Christian, Josh, what do you like the look of?
A doctor.
Or the doctor. Will you be crazy not to go for the doctor? OK. Most men care more about their car than their personal health. True or false?
True.
Do you think people care more about their car than their personal health?
Yeah.
Well, you're a doctor. We should go with it.
Well, people only come to a doctor when it's really, 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 really bad.
Wait till it's fallen off and then they
Yeah,
go.
but if you hear just a little tiny, like a clicking noise in the back of the car, you go, well, I've got to get this fixed, it's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's your hip, you go, nah, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So what's the longest someone's left it before coming to see you? How bad has someone let it get before they come to see you?
I think my memorable case was a guy who... Here we go. Settle in for this one, guys. Settle in. He went to Thailand on holiday, as you do.
Oh, here we go.
He went to Thailand on holiday, got pissed, very, very, very pissed.
Oh.
Went off with a prostitute. Nothing happened. It was completely, you know, brewer's droop. Nothing worked. So he refused to pay her, because, you know, belligerent, aggressive drunk. Refused to pay her, promptly fell asleep on her bed. Didn't wake up till morning. 3 weeks later, comes to see me, sort of basically peeing blood and really, really uncomfortable and all the rest of it, and has put it off for a good 3 weeks. The blood started quite quickly. So 3 weeks later, he comes to see me, and he thinks, oh, I've probably got gonorrhea. I give him the standard gonorrhea treatment. It doesn't go away. Anyway, cut a long story short, I send him off for an X-ray, and his bladder contains 15 hairpins. And the prostitute, who was pissed off that he didn't pay, spent the rest of the night with this drunk man passed out, pushing hairpins down his willy into his bladder as punishment. True story. True story.
You've got to finish that with, night-night, children.
Just out of interest, I did this with my doctor recently. I sent her a photo of a thing.
Of a thing?
No, but I had
What was it?
I had a rash on my neck. A little rash on my neck when I was on holiday. So I sent a photo, and she said...
What, you had a little rash? I can understand if your leg was hanging off at the knee.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to send her a photo. Go, do you think that's right? It's hanging off. Yeah, go on. So do you get sent... Do people send you pictures?
No, we do. They'll Skype in.
So do you have to meet someone before you diagnose them? Could you diagnose just from a text?
Dodgy ground. Dodgy. You'd never...
Could you make some more noise with your massive fucking shoes?
I think she should be on Embarrassing Bodies with the horse feet. Shit, Doctor, I've got the feet of a Shire horse.
I've got an embarrassing body I wanted to check with you.
It just looks really unmanageable. You should comb it.
Now, I've got like a hole in my chest.
What do you mean you've got a hole in your chest?
But it just keeps going in.
Go on, show us that. What's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah, I'm not a doctor, but I'll have a go. I'll have a look.
Well, let's see if... It's like a concaveness.
That's disgusting.
Cheers.
You could lie down and pour beer in it, couldn't you? And then get a straw and drink beer off yourself.
Dr. Christian,
put nuts in there.
For winter.
Yeah. Or you could like get a little, like a gerbil or something, let it make a nest in there.
Can I get the diagnosis? What is the matter with his...
It's called pectus excavatum, because it's an excavated chest.
So someone excavated it?
I bet it was Tony Robinson.
You don't need a doctor, you need a plasterer.
I've got stretchy skin. I don't know if that's normal.
What you've got?
That goes quite far.
You look something out of the Muppets.
Have you got hyperflexible joints as well?
Yeah, I have.
Can you bend your elbows right back?
I've bend them right back, but I can do weird sort of...
No, that's just being camp.
What does that mean?
OK, so what do you think men care more about, their cars or their personal health?
Their car.
Their car.
OK. You've said...
I would like to think health. I think we should stick up for men and we'll say health.
You've said health, you said cars. I can tell you the answer is true. Most men care more about their car than their personal health. Extraordinary. Some men are so obsessed with their cars, it's almost as if they want to have sex with them, which, by the way, would be a stupid thing to do, especially if you haven't let the exhaust pipe cool down and end up losing most of the skin on my penis, their penis. OK, Jonathan, what are you going to go for? What do you like the look of?
Well, we've only got one choice, really, haven't we? I think we'll pick the person that is sat next to me.
Go on, then. We asked the studio audience, would you complain if you were served a terrible meal, yes or no? What do you think this audience said?
I never have.
Hands up who said yes.
No, do not do that. Do not help him.
I did look.
Of course he put his hand up. God love him, he's happy just to be indoors.
I don't believe people say that they would complain. I don't think people do complain over here in Great Britain. I think we're far too polite, especially in restaurants.
You're not.
Well, I'm very polite.
Sorry, have you not seen your show?
Let's say on that show, we only ever critique someone's food, not their personality.
It'd be better telly, though, if you went, oh, that's amazing, but you're such a dick.
What's the worst thing you've had on MasterChef? What's the worst?
I think we had a fella who happily roasted a quail beautifully and, for reasons best known to himself, stuck it on top of a chocolate cake.
Sorry, can I just... I'm not even looking, but I presume Sarah's mouth is watering. Sarah's going, finally, I can enjoy chicken.
It's like Nando's and Thornton's.
Sean, have you ever complained in a restaurant?
I always complain.
But at what point do you complain? Because you can complain and then you worry about what's going to happen to your food when it comes back.
Yeah, you can. I complain, but I never eat what they bring back, unless my complaint is this hasn't got enough spit in it.
Something's not right. I don't see why. It's a real... That's why service is shit in this country, and that's why food is shit in this country.
Ooh.
It's getting better. But generally, if you go to a service station in France or in Italy or Spain, like just so the level of food that everyone can experience, is you can have great food. You go to a service station in this country, the food is virtually... It's like being in a lab or some horrible experiment with sausages and Jif or something. It's just...
I agree with you that food at the basic level, when you really want it, when you're starving, is rubbish. Whose rule is it that we had to put sandwiches in a fridge?
Yes, yeah.
You know, they don't have sandwiches in a fridge in Spain, and they're not all dying of warm sandwich disease.
And who, more importantly, who's the person, when they're making the sandwiches, pushes all the cheese to the front? And you look at it, it's like, you know, it's like, imagine if you're trying to fall in love in Iran, you've only got the eyes to go on. There's loads of cheese in there, and then you open the sandwich, and there's just like a little cheese hill going down to nothing.
I once bought a baked potato in a big food hall in Australia, and
You travel for lunch, don't you?
I was in Australia and I bought I can't remember where, and I bought a baked potato in one of those polystyrene things. I opened it up, and as I was eating, there was a piece of shelving bracket. L-shaped shelving bracket. I swear to God, in the baked potato, and I took it back to the bloke, and he goes, you know, that's nothing to do with me, mate. And I pointed behind him, and there was literally a shelf like that behind him.
So we asked you, would you complain if they were served a terrible meal? What do you think, yes or no?
I wouldn't. I would just never go back there again. So I don't think people would.
So you think they wouldn't complain? Sean, what do you think?
Yes. Clue is in the word terrible. If it's a terrible meal,
Yes,
you would
I think they would complain,
You
yes.
think they would? OK, I can tell you the answer is yes. 79% of the studio audience would complain if they got a terrible meal. John, Kelly, Mickey, what do you like the look of?
I like the Macaulay Culkin-ogram.
Yeah, the little boy.
Yeah, the little boy screaming.
OK. 18% of youngsters said the person they're most scared of is who?
I was scared of everything, but maybe I just read the wrong papers, but I get the impression our kids aren't scared of anything. But I used to shit myself. Someone told me once that recording off the telly was illegal. And I had like 150 videos. I remember once the police coming around and being convinced I was going to get locked up for like 50 years for recording Saved by the Bell off Channel 4.
Probably, you know, on every housing estate, every street, there's a sort of bit of a nonce fella. He's not a proper nonce, he's just a bit odd. Everyone goes, oh, don't go round there. Shut you up, he will.
Sean Steen, what do you think kids are most scared of?
Well, in our house, it's Mr. Jangles, which is one of the characters I play.
Who is Mr. Jangles, Sean?
Mr. Jangles comes up the stairs! You better be in bed! Bojangles gets up there!
That's everybody's scared, Sean. That's just not you.
We're all
getting a bit
scared
panicky.
now. I'm afraid that's the end of the show because we have to go to bed now.
I find it really funny when kids are scared of stuff, because my girls, I've got 2 daughters, and they're not scared of anything, but I've got a niece, and she's scared of everything. I took her to Cadbury World recently, and like they've got these big like cocoa beans walking around, so like dressed up cocoa beans, and the whole time she was like, and I was just killing myself laughing. I was like proper laughing at her.
You were laughing at your niece. She was terrified on a day out.
I liked your face, Jimmy. Do the face again of her being terrified.
Oh, she was...
Was she in a Michael Jackson Thriller video? It's quite an extreme, terrified.
No, but that's how terrified.
Can we have it one more time? Could you do Mr. Bojangles or whatever it was called, and then I would have terrified? It'd be great. A little playlet.
Mr. Bojangles! I don't do it, really. It's a joke. I don't terrify my children as Mr. Jangles.
Say that now.
What's he called then?
Ron.
Ron, coming up the stairs.
No, it's just... Ron's here.
And weirdly, that's more terrifying than Mr. Jangles. So, Kelly.
When you're like 5 years old till you get to about like 8, I know that's changed nowadays, you're terrified, absolutely terrified of your parents.
Well, your dad was the Prince of Darkness. I'll give you that. That's the right answer.
Really?
Yes, 18% of youngsters said the person they're most scared of is their mother. I was terrified of my mum because she used to smack me. Well, not really smack, it was more of a whip. Or it wasn't my mum, it was a woman whose number I found in a phone box. And yeah, it wasn't a woman, it was a man. But you get the idea. I used to call him Mum. John, Patsy and Jack, pick a question.
I think we're going to have to go for the full English breakfast.
Oh, that looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The beans, they're too expensive for me, though.
OK, here's your related question. What does the British nation prefer, the Queen or a full English breakfast?
To eat?
Yeah.
It's a weird question to get asked, isn't it?
It's the sort of thing some nutcase at a bus stop would can't go, do you like the Queen or fry up? Queen or fry up now! Queen or fry up now! I make my own shoes.
I can't think I've ever woken up hungover and thought, God, I need a picture of the Queen. People don't like the Queen anyway.
Yes,
I mean,
they
really.
do.
Not as much as sausage.
The Queen is massive now.
The Queen is massive now.
Yeah, the Queen. I don't think the Queen's
You're
ever
getting
been
slightly more
popular.
street, aren't you? The Queen is massive now.
We've just had the royal wedding and all of that. The Queen is hugely popular.
They still would prefer a fry-up.
I met the Queen once, and she came up to me and she said, "And what do you do?"
Were you on the news at the time? That's a real slam.
No, I said, "Oh, I do the news on Channel 4," and she said, "Oh, I don't watch Channel 4."
Fuck you, lady. Fuck you. I'm livid. You don't ever watch Channel 4?
She doesn't
I'm not
watch...
buying stamps anymore. I'm going to send everything DHL. I have no interest in your operation.
She's never seen Come Dine With Me.
I bet she watched Big Fat Gypsy Weddings. And she thought, you know, most of them are pixelated. She thought that's what they look like. Channel 4 just must have used up their entire pixelation budget on that show. Well, this is John Joe, and he's worried about compromising his scrap metal business.
Well, I don't know. The Queen's quite similar. I reckon she would have watched Big Fat Gypsy Wedding because it's just, you know, people that don't really do
Everyone
anything.
watched that, didn't they?
They sort of live off the state and they're interested in horses. It's basically the same as her.
I don't personally. I'll come out and say I don't like the Queen. I think it's absurd that we have a Queen. Basically, what we're saying is that we're no more sophisticated than bees. Bees have a queen, and their queen actually does something. Lays eggs, and is massive. Their queen is about 20 times bigger than them. So you go, fair enough, you can be queen. Or 50 times bigger than us, and you lay eggs. Our queen just doesn't even open doors.
They always say when people like a royal bashing, they always say it's like it's a tourist attraction. The royal family brings in loads through tourism, and I sort of thought it's a tourist attraction, but it's not a great one. Like Alton Towers, that's a really good tourist attraction.
Yeah.
I want to see Buckingham Palace of Adventures. I want to see the Queen in a bikini with a water slide. I want to see Charles offering kids rides on Camilla down the beach. It's not good enough.
OK, so what are you going to go for?
I think we've got to go full English. Yeah, we've got
You're
to go
going full English. OK. Sean, what are you going to go for?
I'll say this. Most people go full English, but then vegetarians wouldn't. But most vegetarians, I reckon, don't like the Queen.
That's probably true.
Probably true, isn't it? Because they're all bloody commies, aren't they?
You've overthought this spectacularly.
So it's hard. But I'll go full English.
You're going full English. I can tell you the answer is 77% of Brits prefer a full English breakfast to the Queen. Yeah. Of course, the modern full English breakfast consists of a packet of fags, a WKD, Twix, and the morning after pill.